Good evening, good afternoon, good day, good morning, wherever you are. Uh, Levi here, coming to you again from Levi's Van Life. And just doing some shopping today, starting to build the van, one piece at a time. And so I'm doing it a little different than what most people would. It seems like, anyways. So most people buy the van and they already know how they want to build it completely. And I mean, maybe that's not completely true, but they have a good idea what they want to do. And so for me, I'm doing things a bit different. I've looked at several van life videos and how people build out their vans. And for me, I'm on a limited budget. I mean, I have I have some money, but there's, I have competing priorities. And so the first thing is I purchased this van. It's a 1993 Dodge Caravan with 168,000 miles on it. And so the first thing I ran into, I test drove the van and so when I test drove the van, it drove fine. And then when I bought it and started driving it home, immediately I had the transmission went into limp mode, which meant that it was stuck in one gear. And so I figured out how to get it out of limp mode. But anyway, so that's one problem that I need to fix with the van. And it has several little problems, but overall it drives pretty well. And so notwithstanding that, I was in the van today and just hanging out and kind of relaxing and surfing the internet, and I realized that I needed to charge my phone. So I started to research and look for a power inverter. And so I shopped around and I bought a 410 watt, I think, power inverter, and I'm thinking about doing an unboxing video. And not because necessarily I recommend it, but just to show the progression of me building out this van. So I got a power inverter, and I did a bunch of research today and figured out, okay, so I want to get a solar panel, probably about 100 watts, maybe get 2 solar panels eventually. I'd like to get a deep cycle battery, or if I can swing it in the next week or two, get a lithium ion battery. And so because the deep cycle batteries are going to take a charge, and are going to give out electricity over a longer period of time than a typical car battery, which is designed to put out a lot of energy all at once for a starter. And so I want a battery that's going to be able to take a charge. So notwithstanding these details, I wanted to talk a little today about why I'm doing this. There's that book that says start with why. And so I think that's important because in a year, in 2 years, in 5 years, I may look back on this, or you may just be coming to this channel. And when I've noticed for my own life, when I answer why I'm doing something, then it makes the how a lot easier. And so for me, I have several reasons why I'm doing van life. I think probably one of the most important reasons for me is for financial freedom. So there's the mobile freedom, going from here to there, visiting new places, and I definitely want some of that. But for me, in the long term, the most important thing is financial freedom. And so I notice that there seem to be two competing priorities in society. In American society, people tend to value money in some sense more than time, but I'm different. I have a value for money, but I value my time more than money. So I like to do things that lower my expenses and maximize my assets. And so for instance, doing this channel is one thing that will if I get enough views, etc., I can get money from AdSense or from affiliate links. But for me, that financial independence piece, I've I'm kind of a part of a movement called the FIRE movement, Financial Independence Retire Early. And I don't think that I'll ever retire from working completely or at all. I'll just transition from not doing the work I don't want to do to doing the work I do want to do. And so, anyways, there are two ways to achieve financial independence, and so it's important to use both ways. One is defensive spending, and one is offensive, or defensive finances and offensive finances. Defensive is lowering costs as much as possible, and offensive is increasing your earning power. And so for me, like, since I'm living in America, it's going to be difficult for me to not live anywhere, and not pay rent. And that rent's going to be, anywhere from $400 or more a month. And so what I'm doing in part by doing van life is reducing my expenses as much as possible. So I'll have insurance, I'll have gas, and I'll have internet, perhaps, depending on how I do things. But basically what it'll do is it'll lower my expenses enough so that as I keep making more investments in what FIRE people would call VTSAX, which is an index fund through Vanguard, as I keep making investments in that, as I keep publishing more books, as I keep putting out more videos that hopefully help you out and give you a window into van life, then the lower my expenses are by living in the van and increasing my passive income, increasing my assets, revenue stream by revenue stream, that should make it that should free my time up more and more. And for me, the most important thing in my life are my relationships. And so I'm pretty eclectic. You can see from how I'm dressed. I like to read a lot of different kinds of books, and learn. I like to learn constantly, and I like to synthesize what I learn experientially and academically, et cetera, and give it to you. And so in van life, trying to use van life as a platform in the American context, at least in the North American context, to be free to do what I want. So if that means teaching in different places, if that means traveling to gather footage for good videos, that financial freedom is a big deal. As well, it takes some courage and some risk to do van life. And so part of what I want to do in this video is be an example for those who want to do this kind of thing. It may not be van life in particular, but inspire people to make choices for their own lives that lead to greater freedom and greater options for them. And so freedom, greater options for others, and to make it like an educational thing, so that if somebody comes along and watches these videos basically from the beginning, they're going to see my mistakes and my successes, and hopefully be able to learn from that, and hopefully myself, be able to learn from this in the long run. But I figure that, like, with these motivations for me, and I'm an adventurer, and I don't mind kind of jumping headlong into things as long as I've done some study. I don't want to go into it blind, but I want to do a good job. And so for you guys watching Levi's Van Life, watching me as I go on this journey, I hope that it inspires you, and I hope it gives you the courage to do what you want to do in your life. May not be van life, may be something else, but at least you can look at my example, and hopefully that will inspire you. So anyways, thank you so much for watching today. If you like this video, if you like this video, you like what I said, smash the like button, and subscribe and hit the bell. And I hope to see you next time. Have a great day.